Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Mohammed Kantawi. Today's session is going to be about writing. So I devoted this series as titled Easy and Easeful Writing. In this episode, this is the first episode, I'm going to be speaking about different things. Let's say 5 points. The first point is defining writing. How do we define writing? So let's begin. Writing is a process, is a craft, is a process of putting words together to create either phrases, sentences, clauses, sentences, paragraphs, essays, articles, and books, novels, blah blah blah. That's writing. But within writing we have got some principles and rules and criteria to follow, without which we cannot yield, we cannot produce a beautiful piece of writing. We need style, we need rhetoric, we need the rules of grammar in whatever we come to write. So that's writing. Now the second point is about the difference between creative writing and academic writing. And I think that some people do not know that difference. Sometimes they confuse between them. Creative writing is mostly personal, and it is about writing a novel or a poem, a short story, a novella, or a play. So it's about creating writing. It's about writing within literature, British literature, American literature, and African literature. While academic writing is about research, investigation, scrutiny. It's not like creative writing, and that's the difference. Whenever we speak about academic writing, we speak about writing at universities. We used to write an article, for example, a professor would like to get promoted, he should deliver a certain article. He should write a certain article, or 2 articles, or 3 articles to get himself promoted. That's academic writing. But creative writing is different. Not only different in nature, but different in language. Even in language, I think that creative writing doesn't need to respect the prescriptive rules of grammar. While academic writing, there are a lot of people who would tell you that you should respect the grammar because you are writing academically. So that's the difference between creative writing and academic writing. The third point would be about the difference between academicity and formality. We have to be careful here because there are a lot of students, and not only students, even teachers, do not differentiate between these 2 points, academicity on the one hand and formality on the other hand. So what are the difference? Academicity is about the writings that we find at university, like writing articles, writing reports, writing dissertations and theses, while formality is something that has to do with the language itself. So that means every academic work must contain formality, but not every formal work can be academic, and that's the difference. So academicity is about the nature of the work, while formality is about the nature of the language. That's the difference between academicity and formality. That means when we are studying at university, students and teachers teach and students study, they should respect the grammar. That means they should show formality in their writings. They are not allowed to borrow vulgarisms and colloquialisms in their writings. So they should show formality. Every academic writing is by nature formal, while formality itself is about the language. That means outside academia, you can have a language that is not formal, that is informal, like for example, like chatting on Facebook, text messaging. So that's the difference between academicity and formality. The fourth point would be about the lessons. So let's begin. Here are the lessons that I'm going to be speaking about. there are 12 lessons. The first one is about the word. So how do we define what is a word? A word is a collection, is one letter or a collection of letters together that create a word, That's the word. And we shall be talking in my series about the nature of words, because there are some words which are long, having a lot of letters, and there are words which are short, having few letters. The long words, we call them in English sesquipedalian or sesquipedalian, and the short letters, or the short words, we call them brachysyllabic. And any writer is supposed to contain in his writing both sesquipedalian words and brachysyllabic words. So that's the first lesson. The second lesson would be about diction and phraseology. Within diction and phraseology, we are talking about words in context. It means which word is more effective in this particular context. And if I chose a word, can I find another word that is more effective, much more effective than this word? And so we have to be careful in choosing the words in academicity, in academic writing, and in any kind of writing. And a student is allowed at university to choose whatever words he likes, on condition that these words are formal, they are not vulgarisms. The third point is about, or the third lesson is about phrases. We shall be talking about the nature of phrases and the types of phrases, like the noun phrase, the verb phrase, the adjective phrase. And we shall be talking about how you can memorize phrases, because by memorizing phrases, you can improve your English so quickly. It's not like by memorizing individual words. You have to memorize also phrases and sentences. So the fourth point would be about clauses. We shall be talking about the difference between clauses and phrases, and then we shall be talking about the types of clauses, the dependent clause and the independent clause, and what is the difference between them. No doubt, the independent clause is by nature a simple sentence, while the dependent clause is a fragment. It cannot stand alone. We shall be talking about those two types. And within clauses, we shall be talking about the categories, the relative clause, the adverbial clause, the adjectival clause, the nominal clause. Lesson number 5 would be about sentences. We shall be talking about the structure of sentences, the types of sentences, and the patterns of sentences, all together. And we shall be talking about strong sentences and lame sentences, weak sentences. And we shall be talking about how you can solidify your sentences in writing. Lesson 6 would be about coordinators. What are coordinators? No doubt maybe you know that coordinators are collected in this acronym, fanboys. And the fanboys are 7 letters. So there are 7 coordinators, 7 famous coordinators, also with the semicolon. Because we shall be talking about that when we come to speaking about sentences, particularly compound sentences, because coordinators and the semicolon are used in compound sentences. Then we shall be talking about subordinators. Subordinators, there are a lot of subordinators in English, are words which can be used to create complex sentences. And the difference between coordinators and subordinators is that coordinators are used between 2 or more independent clauses, while subordinators are used between or at the beginning a dependent clause, an independent clause, or more than one independent clause or dependent clause. And these are the subordinators, the difference between them. The other lesson would be about parallelism. We shall be talking about how to create a balance in your sentence, how not to confuse or to mix between the infinitive and the gerund and the participles. It means you have got to make your sentence appealing by constructing them in a very beautiful way and in a very balanced way. Parallelism means the sentence should be paralleled or balanced. The other lesson would be about punctuation. We shall be talking here about the different uses of punctuation marks. We shall be talking about how to use the full stop, how to use the comma, how to use the semicolon, how to use the question mark, how to use the exclamatory mark, and how to use the colon or the colon. The two pronunciations are correct. And then we shall be talking about the paragraph, how to create a paragraph, how to create a topic sentence, the concluding sentence, and this, in the middle, the supporting ideas of the topic sentence, and how to create cohesion and coherence and unity. And the same would apply to the last lesson, which is about the essay. The same elements. When I say the same elements, I'm talking about unity, coherence, and cohesion. But the essay is an extended form of the paragraph. That means a paragraph is a block, while the essay is a collection of paragraphs. Mostly at university here, a teacher would ask his students or her students to write a 5-paragraph essay. That means an essay that contains 5 paragraphs. The introduction and 3 body paragraphs and the conclusion. That's the norm here. That means within the introduction we shall be talking about the general statement and the thesis statement, and in the body each paragraph relates to each particular point within the thesis statement in the introduction. Within the thesis statement in the introduction, and that's the body. The conclusion is to conclude your essay, either with a morale, with a prediction, or with a revelation. And sometimes you can give your own opinion objectively. That means you're not supposed to include my opinion, like my and I, or I think. You have got to use it objectively, but it's your own opinion. So those are the lessons that we shall be talking about. Let's repeat them. We shall be talking first about the verb, and then about diction and phraseology, and then about the phrase, and then the clause, and then the sentence. And then we shall be talking about coordinators and subordinators, and then parallelism, and then punctuation, and then paragraphs, and then essays. All those stuff are very important to be talked about, and they can help you, I promise, they can help you develop your own writing. And I shall be giving my own examples. That means I'm not supposed to bring essays and paragraphs from the internet. I shall be giving you my own essays and paragraphs to look at them and to apply on them those rules, to try to extract the rules from them. Thank you so much. So happy to be here among you. Thank you so much, and see you next time in my coming session. Thank you.